Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, well, it's 6:30, so.
Let's do it.
All right, well, it's 6:30. Thank you for coming out tonight. Tonight's the October 16th meeting of the Village of Webster Zoning Board of Appeals. I would like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we have 4 items on our agenda tonight. 2 are public hearing items, which we will start with. I will start with item number 1, and if I butcher anybody's name, please do not hold it against me. Item number 1 is Andrew Spandau, owner of 40 Elm Street, tax ID 080.10-3-38. Applicant seeks to install a 10 by 18, 180 square foot accessory structure shed. Applicant therefore seeks an area variance of 52 square feet to allow a 180 square foot accessory structure where an 128 square foot accessory structure is allowed pursuant to Village Code Section 175-59. Applicant also seeks an area variance of 1 foot to allow a 4-foot side setback where a 5-foot side setback is allowed pursuant to Village Code Section 175-59. Property zone residential R-1-9.6. If we can have Andrew come up and present to the board what you'd like to do.
How you doing, guys? My name's Andy Spall. As you said, live at 40 Elm Street. Pretty much said it all. We just want to put a nice shed in the backyard. The 2 primary reasons being it's a growing family, so we just want the extra space for storage. Probably a bigger reason than that is our garage is in pretty poor condition. The east side of it's bowing out the foundation and causing the wood siding to split apart. And I have some pictures here if I can show you, if you don't mind. So here I guess there's a 40 to go through. So it's a bit of a safety concern, as well as it just doesn't look good. The front doors do not function anymore, so I can't close them. They've been open for about 3 years now. So another big reason obviously getting a shed would be to secure like all my property that's in the garage into the shed, and then in 3 years time we plan on getting a new garage built. So that's where we're at right now.
All right, thank you. At this time, I guess I will open it to the board for any questions, comments that you would like to ask the applicant.
How far off the back property line is the proposed shed?
Off the back property line, it's a good 20 feet, if not more. Yeah, back right after the filling station, where that fence is, yeah, it's pretty far away from that.
Because there is a drainage easement in your backyard.
Yeah, there's, on my neighbor's property, there is an easement, there is a drainage easement. It's 14 feet off of that I measured. So the edge of the back edge of the shed would be 14 feet exactly about.
So it wouldn't be over the easement?
No, absolutely not, no. That's only on his property, and yeah, it's 14 feet away from it, so.
So what's the status on the garage? You gonna fix it?
No, we're gonna replace it. We're gonna demo it and put a new one up. Foundation, to fix that, the garage doors, the roof, the siding, all that stuff would just.
So you're gonna
it's
fix
like putting a Band-Aid. Yeah, we're gonna fix it with a new garage, correct?
Okay.
So I'll be before you guys hopefully in 3 years. With that.
Well, have you done the math on, instead of doing the shed, instead of putting the shed up, putting that money towards a new garage now?
I haven't considered that. No, I do want the extra space, for snow blower, my my lawnmower, it's like I have, wood splitter, I have a lot of stuff that, they could go in there and just, yeah, so it's not just primarily because, the garage, when we also bought the garage. I mean, I've wanted a shed for a while, so.
Now, Guston, or Mike Guston.
Yep.
Is not allowing you to use his property to bring it in, correct?
Did he say that to you, or, because he spoke
No,
to
we
me?
got a letter from him.
We got nothing. We all received a copy of that letter.
Oh, I didn't receive that.
No. How are you planning on getting it in there?
Either my driveway or the neighbor's driveway.
Okay.
I get permission, yeah. I think,
So you
I
can
spoke,
get it around?
I spoke to Mike Guston and he was completely fine with it, but I'm assuming the guy who's selling me the shed and his boss went over there to talk to Mike, because I gave them his number, and they probably did a walk down and saw that it wasn't gonna fit. Because when I spoke to him on the phone, he was all for it, but then when I, described, how big it was, he was a little concerned that it wouldn't fit, make the turn, because I guess RG&E, when they cut, trees back there, it's like he's gotta turn them away because there's a couple of spots where they just can't get in, so I think that's, I don't know if that's what it says in the letter.
They had just said it's a new driveway and he was worried about the weight of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiled for information.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So I do have a question for town staff on that easement. Do we think the easement
Yeah,
generally would go through every property and
yes,
that
there you
the
go.
surveyor didn't notice the easement for his instrument survey?
Seems to be the case, because there's a pipe and the easement exists on your property as well. The pipe does extend to the west.
I wasn't aware of that, because I have another survey that doesn't say that there's an easement there as well, so.
Yeah. And it can be out there, we can go over it.
Who was Gary Spatal?
My father,
What, your parents owned the house before you?
yeah, I bought it in
There's
2000.
there's a survey that was done in 1988 when they owned the property.
Okay,
That shows
yeah,
a drainage easement cuts across the back of all those lots.
really,
Yes, really. And
Yeah.
why your surveyor didn't put it on there is, they
Yeah.
should have, they should have.
They should have, is correct. But yes,
So,
he's right, and then it does show the 36-inch storm sewer going, cuts that property well. So if you line up the catch basin from your neighbor and you can see another catch basin down the road, you kind of line it up, you can see where that pipe is.
yeah,
So if, we were to maybe move forward, I might suggest that you can maybe move that shed south a little more so that you're not over the storm sewer, because in the event that the village needs to ever replace that, then we're
Yeah.
moving your shed and
Yeah.
we're not liable to put it back. So that's my only concern.
could I mean, would there be a waiver that I could sign if that was, a problem, it's like I'd be willing to have that moved?
Well, I think
Or
the village
if
does
I wasn't
have,
able to move it further, south to accommodate. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I'd be willing to move it if it needs to get moved, if there's something that needs to be done back there.
I'm not necessarily opposed to having
Yeah.
the shed in the easement.
Yeah.
I am opposed to having the shed over the pipe.
Yeah,
Because, again, if we need to get in there to replace anything, then that's gonna be a major issue, and I just don't wanna see that upon you, and I don't wanna see
yeah.
it upon the village.
I wish I knew there was a pipe going under there, it's like, I didn't know what direction it was, and again, it's like with that survey, it didn't tell me.
Right.
So, it's new to me.
Is there any village code or anything that says you can't put something over an easement?
no, but you need the permission of whoever holds the easement, in this case, the village.
You need their permission.
Right.
You would probably have to go to the village board.
No, you don't, no, it's the village board,
Okay.
not this board.
So to solve that, you could move it closer to the south, bring
closer to the garage, is that a problem, or you're just? eating up space?
There's a big pine tree there, it kind of tucks in underneath the pine tree in a big box elder. To move it further south, I would have to cut some of that pine tree back a little bit. I don't know, that might be a little challenging. So if there was a different avenue for this, I probably would rather pursue that, than having to cut that tree up. Not to mention just the placement, it's like, if I move further south and with the doors facing west, to get in there now, it's like I'm closer to the pine tree, the base of the pine tree, so it's just, the room to maneuver in there, would be decreased.
So, I have a question, how far does he have to be away from that pipe?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
if
they
they're-
have to be out of easement.
Yeah, the easement.
I have two drawings here and I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
Where that would be, because I can't figure out exactly, it looks here that you're 13 feet from the property line
It's,
in the rear, is that correct?
I have the updated survey, I sent this one into, just because I was going back and forth sending
Okay.
stuff in, I think that one, might have got mixed up. It's 14 feet from the drain I have on my survey. So that 14 feet that you see that I put, that line goes to the drain. It's 4 feet from the property line. And it's actually probably closer to 5 feet, to be honest. I think I was a little conservative on that. And then, again, it's a 10 by 18. So,
But do you know how far from your rear property line to the corner of the shed you're looking, from like this corner to this rear property line? Do you know what that distance is?
oh, that's greater than 20 feet. It's probably 25 feet.
So you might be out of the easement if it's truly a 20-foot wide permanent easement.
The easement's not on the property line though. It's kind of right centered over the pipe, and that's in the property at distance.
We might want to look into that,
Yeah.
because based on this 80, I would say the property line, it's on the back property line. I mean, the pipe is not centered in the easement, but I would say the easement starts from the back property line, comes 20 feet into his yard. That's the way I read this, but I'm not a surveyor.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just put the shed directly behind the garage? Long ways with the door facing north.
There's not much space in the backyard, but that's kind of an open space. Trampoline's there,
Well,
in the garage, when you get a bigger garage, we're hoping to get a bigger garage, like similar width, but go back a little bit. It's a small garage, in comparison to like some of the other ones, 19 by 20, so just.
set the shed 10 feet behind your existing garage, 15 feet behind yours.
Yeah, it would take up all, literally most of the grassy area in my backyard. Like most of my backyard is dirt, pine needles in the back half, the north end. And that's underneath the pine tree and a couple box elders and another tree I don't even know what it is. So this is ideally the best spot. I mean, I've thought about this for a while. The only other spot that potentially could make sense would be on Mr. Byers' property line there, our shared property line against that fence with the doors facing east. But again, it's like it would basically be like just moving it over on this survey map. It's like to the other side. It's like, and I don't know if it's still going to be on that easement. So. Again, I had no idea that the easement stretched across my property. I just saw it in this survey and then a past survey indicating, the way I interpreted it, that it was just on the neighbor's property.
No.
Would you be willing to rotate it 90 degrees? The layout of the shed?
Again, that would be kind of a challenge and just, it would eat up a lot of space back there. I have, a little fire pit right there. I don't know if anybody here has walked it down or seen it. I know you guys sometimes will, walk properties and stuff,
I didn't walk property, but
Yeah.
up in the driveway, we could see it in the back there.
Right.
And those low-lying branches would be a problem. I mean, those should come down if you're gonna move it at all.
Well, there's gonna be like 2 or 3 that I caught, yeah. It's, but if I move it, further south, it would be a lot. And, pine, once you cut something up a pine tree, it's not growing back, so,
Right.
yeah. So I'd like to keep, it's like as much of that tree as possible intact. So that's why I don't wanna move it, probably why I don't wanna move it that way.
So this is a pre-built shed by Sturdy Built, right?
Correct, yeah.
Does it have a floor?
Yep.
So it's got a pre-built floor.
Yep, it's 3/4 inch plywood floor, and then,
What's it built on?
4x4s, I believe it was.
And this structure is just gonna sit on the ground?
It's gonna sit on, gravel. I'm gonna have a guy come in and dig out, 1.5 inches, whatever it is, 2 inches, and then put gravel down. He does a pad. He kinda works with this guy. So it'll sit on gravel.
So what do we, so if you put a shed over the easement,
Yeah.
and the village has to get well, number one, the village has to approve it first.
Correct.
So,
Well, but there's always two schools of thought.
right,
Beg for forgiveness or ask for permission.
right, so, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But,
That's what I've heard that before, but I'm not gonna put a shed in there and just presume that I can get away with that and.
Right,
That's
understood.
not the way to approach it, so.
but if the.
But I've heard that one before, somebody told me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, well, that's what I live by, my words. If it has to be moved, if the village has to get in there, it's on the applicant or the homeowner to move the shed and take responsibility for it.
I would put it in writing and sign it if you want.
Yeah, that's correct. And the village board have granted a permission for other structures to be within easements, but I can't recall one where the structure goes right over either a sanitary sewer or in this case, a storm sewer pipe. They don't mind encroaching in an easement, but not right over the main function of the easement,
We know
So I can't guarantee you that the village board's gonna say,
Yeah.
So, trampolines can be moved. I think you gotta, you've had a lot of reasons why that shed's gotta be in that exact location. I think you need to be a little more flexible. And at least get that shed out from over the pipe.
Yes.
It can still encroach the easement, but not over the pipe.
Right.
That's
So
what
we
I
have to
think.
identify. Or you
Well,
have to
that's,
identify
where,
the pipe exactly.
where is
Well, I
this?
Yeah,
think,
I
as
can
Mike
meet you
said,
out, Jake and I can meet you out there, we can go over exactly where it is.
it's between where the 2 catch basins are, it'll be
Yeah.
running right in between
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Do you know how tall the shed is?
10 foot.
Does it have, what kind of doors does it have?
It's double door. It's got windows, it's sided, nice roof.
Not,
I mean,
it's not gonna look like a garage, correct?
Not, no.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
so, top down.
If you guys,
Oh,
I'm sure you guys, at least somebody, is driven by the Sturdy Built shed place where it's on 250
Oh,
and
450.
flank the corner there, yeah. Right in that parking lot, he's got a lot of sheds right there that similar to what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So you probably only need to move it, I don't know, 5-10 feet to the south to get it off the pipe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if where that tree is you're talking about, but
Yeah, if I find out if I can see where the pipe is, it's like on a map, and then, kind of go from there and see what the other options are. I mean, there's not many options to put that size shed on my property where it looks right and it works aesthetically and all that stuff. So, but I'm willing to take a look, to see what other options I have.
And you
Yeah,
said
it's a
it was
pretty-
a 10 by 18 shed?
Correct.
Because on the thing it says 10 by 14 on your sturdy build thing.
Yeah. Again, I have an updated one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
A couple were.
This sturdy.
Oh, that's an old receipt. Again,
Okay.
I sent in 2 receipts, so there's an updated receipt somewhere in that email chain, but there's a bunch of email chain.
So what is the size?
What's that?
What is the
10
size?
by 18.
That's what he applied for, that was what was added.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because that's.
Yeah, it's,
All right. Do we have any more questions for now?
So, let me just try to, I applaud you for coming and not just putting it in there and
Yeah.
really coming to the board, that I personally don't feel comfortable making a decision on this at all, because I just don't know where this thing is, I don't know where the pipe is, I don't know where the drain is, I don't know how far, or how close it is to this, and, it's like shooting in the dark. And so, that's where I stand. And so I guess that we would table this until we get more information, would be the approach that I would take.
as of right now, it won't be built till next year sometime anyways, because they're done building for the year.
Okay.
That guy just called me like literally a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So, and I won't put it back there until it's like, time of year next year where it's hard,
Right,
ground,
right,
so I'm not gonna
right.
move back in the spring, so probably summer, I project to be the time I go back there. So,
Well, okay. At this time, I'd just like to open it up to the public for anyone that.
Richard Walter, 20 Elm Street. Are you also aware that in addition to that 30-inch storm sewer, there is a sanitary sewer line back there, which my house goes into, I know, and several of them along on that side of the street go into. So there is near that pipe another sewer pipe, which may be a problem because the village has had problems with that line in the past clogging up. It was replaced across my backyard at my request several years ago, but it is still, as far as I know, the original tile pipe that was put in back in the 20s. So we've got a 100-year-old tile back there. So that may be a problem. And in addition, I hope your property line, you are not measuring off Burger King's fence. You're going with the actual property line, which is about 3 feet of your backyard actually belongs to Burger King.
I didn't measure I didn't measure anything.
I'm just saying that the Burger King fence does not represent the property.
Yeah, I
line.
wasn't concerned about being close to that property line. I was just looking at 20 plus feet, so that wasn't my concern. It was Scott Swanson's property line I was concerned about.
If you notice in my next door neighbor's yard, there's a jag in the fence, because when Burger King went
Oh,
up,
yeah. No, you're right, yeah.
they put their fence 2 or
Yeah.
3 feet onto their
Yeah.
line, but not near the property
Yeah.
line. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak for or against this application? Seeing any, I'll bring it back to the board and further discussion. So I think we're looking at maybe if we can get more information from you, table this tonight, and get more information from you, meet with Chris and Jake out in the backyard, kind of line up and maybe redraw on the map, your instrument survey, where the shed is, and then we can, go further with that discussion.
Okay.
If that's acceptable to you.
Yeah, ultimately, will this have to go before the village board now, or what's the?
Well, it kind of
what's the
depends.
recourse?
So if you're looking at trying to encroach into that easement,
Yeah.
it will have to go to the village board.
Okay.
If you determine, hey, this shed where I want it is outside your existing easement, then you don't need to go to the village board.
Okay.
We can take care of it right here.
Okay.
So that's why I think we'd rather table this, get more information from you.
See where we're at, see what,
And then-
see if there's options. other than
Correct,
what- okay.
correct.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it, see what we got, and go from there.
So,
One last question, how deep is your lot?
How deep?
How deep?
I don't know off the top of my head, from the front all the way to the back.
253 feet.
yeah.
Whatever it says, I mean, I don't know my reader's now, so you-
260 on the one
260
side,
to 253.
253 on the
Yeah.
back, other side.
I know this
It's a
was,
deep lot.
It is a deep well.
for the village, yeah, it's pretty deep. It's narrow, I mean, they're all pretty narrow.
Right.
but
Very narrow.
On that side of the street, we all have pretty
50,
deep.
Yeah, the south side is not,
Yeah, the south side, they don't have much there.
I hear what my neighbor's saying.
Yeah.
They're long and narrow
Yeah.
lots.
Yeah,
So, do we have to do anything? We don't need to take any action, we just table the, take a motion to table for now?
Yeah, maybe just for the applicant's edification. I haven't heard any discussion over the size of the shed, which is actually what the variance is for. We've all been talking about the
We've gotten
location,
it,
Yeah.
which frankly
Yep.
isn't really this board's, much of this, as long as it's, you know, it's 5 foot off the rear line, 5 foot off the side property line. But what about the size? So I don't want them to have to come back here all over again, and now you're saying, oh, you can't have a 180 square foot shed. You don't have to take a vote on it, but, you know, just. Do you really
Yeah,
have-
the,
does anybody have a problem with the size?
it is, it's a lot larger than, should be. What's the,
28.
128 square feet?
Yeah.
So we're looking at, 50,
Because if you have a problem with the size, he shrinks it down, maybe that gets it off the easement too.
right.
No, that's,
I would question what the garage is gonna be too.
Well, that's
Yeah, we're gonna
speculation.
ask for
That's
an
just-
oversized garage?
Huh? He's
Have you
allowed-
thought about a
You're
smaller
allowed
shed?
you're allowed 600 square foot garage, which is bigger than what he's got.
10 by
I thought about bigger sheds.
Bigger shed.
I started with a smaller shed. I went from a 10 by 12 to a 10 by, no, I went from a 10 by 14 to a 10 by 16 to a 10 by 18, and that's where, and a lot of that was based off of all the minutes that I read of all these meetings, all the way back to 2014. Every single one, every motion that was passed for a shed, you know, it was passed. And people had 90 square foot variances passed, so, I mean,
I agree.
I did my homework, so, but I
There's
know
precedent set
it's more
here.
unique, it's a more unique situation that I wasn't aware of, so I looked at all the minutes in the past and I said, well, I mean, maybe I can get a bigger one.
Personally, I don't have a problem with the size. Because there's been many applications come through for oversized sheds, you know, up to 200 square feet, I think. So, that's my opinion.
Chris, what's your thoughts on the size of the shed?
I have no issue with the size.
Okay. Kathy?
It's within the boundaries of the
This
1%
big.
gross land area.
Larry?
we've dealt with that before.
Yeah, I'm okay. Definitely, I don't, I'm more concerned about the location of it.
Mhm.
The size as is fine.
Okay. So I think we've, come into a consensus that the size is okay. It really comes down to the location.
If I have to downsize it, so we're okay with where the location is, then, I mean, certainly that's an option I'll entertain. You know, if a 10 by 16, you know, gives me that space.
Yeah, I think it really
It's
comes
like,
down
I
to.
don't want to, but if it's better than nothing, so I'm looking to get something out of the deal.
Right,
So,
no, I
you-
think
it's
it
like-
comes down to
I just wanna
where
find
the
what's gonna work
easement
for
is,
everybody.
right, the
Correct.
easement is and all
Yeah.
that stuff, so that,
Figure out where the drainage pipe is.
Yeah. Okay.
but
And
you
then
now,
kinda go from there.
right, now you know that we are generally accepting of the size, so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of, oh geez, it's gotta come
What's
5
underneath?
feet this way,
Yeah.
maybe I need to go with a
Okay,
smaller shed,
okay.
so,
I'll entertain it as an option too then.
okay. So I guess I will take a motion to table until we get further information from the applicant.
Okay, I'll make
Do you wanna table it to next month's meeting, so?
Well, I would table it to next month's meeting, as long as we get all the information.
Well,
for
you
the
just
next-
gotta get together with Chris here and Jake, can you do it within a month?
Oh, yeah,
We can meet up there tomorrow.
exchange emails, whatever, yeah.
Why don't you table it to
I'm-
next
I'm
month,
off.
so?
Okay,
I'll be hunting in the morning, but I'll be back maybe later.
so I will, take
I
a
will make a motion that we table the application for 40 Elm Street till
November
November 2026.
2025.
2025, sorry.
I have a motion on the.
I'll second that.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Thank
We will
you.
see you in a
All
month.
right, appreciate it.
Oh, do you want your picture back of your garage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. All right, our second item on the agenda is Barbara Vansbach, owner of 12 Pierce Street, tax ID 080.13-1-63. Applicant seeks to install an 8 by 42-foot front porch. Applicant therefore seeks an area variance of 4.3 feet to allow a 35.7 foot front setback where a 40-foot front setback is allowed pursuant to Village Code Section 175-11C. Applicant also seeks an area variance of 2.8 feet to allow a 5.2 foot side setback and bring the pre-existing non-conforming structure into compliance where an 8-foot side setback is allowed pursuant to Village Code Section 175-11E. Property zone residential R-1-1326. Barbara, you want to come up and give us a idea of what you want to do?
Yeah, hi. I've always wanted to put a front porch on my house since the idea's come and gone, and I finally been saving, and I've got some ideas. I've seen people all throughout the village adding porches. I'm like, yeah, I really want to do that. And so I've been speaking with the builder, and we've gone back and forth, got some ideas, and I applied, and I found out that my lot is narrow, which I knew. And that I need to get variance because if I put a porch out, it'll be too close to my neighbor's property. Well, my house is too close to my neighbor's property. And it was built like 75 years ago, so I can't change that. And the variance from the road, I already have a, lack of a better word, like a 3-foot slab of concrete or 3.5 that I sit out on in front of my house anyway. And so it would be kind of like replacing that with one that's like twice the size. It would barely touch where my sidewalk goes now. And I'm hoping to have a front porch, like the rest of the village.
Okay, thank you. I will open it up to the board for questions, comments.
Commend you for putting the front porch on, it'll look nice.
Yes. That's one of the things.
And
I sit out there all the time, and when I was little, I used to go walking with my family. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to have that. So,
yeah. No, we've, problem with any property, most properties in the village is the front setback. And if you do anything to the front, and I've run into this with my property, I just added steps, I had to get a variance for it. So it's not unusual, this is not an unusual application.
I couldn't add a porch to the back because behind my house is like a little sunroom in the garage, so there's no room in the back. So, and obviously I'm not on the sides
Right.
either, so it had to be on the front.
It's gonna have a shed roof.
Yes.
Is it open, I mean, generally open, just post and beam type of
Posts
thing?
and then spindles, I don't know what you call it,
Yeah,
along
okay.
the sides,
So
yeah.
you're gonna have like a fence along the, in between the beams, or the posts, excuse me?
Yes.
Railings.
Railings, yes, and I call those spindles, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not a builder, but yeah,
Yeah, that's
my
right.
terms, yeah.
So there will be railings and steps down.
Yeah.
How high off the ground is the top?
Right now, to get into my house in the front, I have one step and then into the house. And when I bought the house, the step was crumbling, so I hired a guy to put a step in, and I just spent thousands of dollars, so I just wanted just one step. I need to have 2 steps, because it's a really big step to get into the porch, and I want to be able to take 2 steps and then have the porch be there and be able to walk into the house. I think with plenty too, but I
A
didn't have 2
simplified
steps.
question. Is the top of deck less than 30 inches off the ground?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
oh, yeah.
because then you technically don't need railings.
I know, but I think it would look nice.
I know, but aesthetically.
Yeah, yeah.
Do I have any more questions from the board right now?
No questions, I think it'd be a good addition.
All right, I will open it up to the public for anybody that wants to speak for or against this application. Please stand up, give your name and address, and please address the board, not the applicant.
I'm Jim Bishoping, and I live at 19 Pierce Street, just up the street from Barb. And I have mowed the lawn, cleaned the driveway and that, and I have no problem with her repairing something that was put there when the house was built, which was late 30s, early 40s, same as my house. So by doing this, she's improving the front look of the house by having a nice porch with a little roof over it. So I have no problem at all with it.
Thank you.
Yes,
Anybody else from the public that would like to speak for or against this application? Not
Sure,
seeing
why not?
any? I will bring it back to the board for further discussion. Oh, Rick, you
Well,
wanna?
Rick Waller again. I've lived in the village for almost 80 years, and I believe in porches. I think it's a very good idea.
Thank you, Rick. All right, I'll bring it back to the board for any further discussion. So, she is looking for 2 variances, front setback and a side setback. But before we do any of that, we have to do seeker.
Since it's just area variances, it's a type 2.
I'll make that motion. This will be a type 2 pursuant to seeker.
I have a motion for type 2. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. All right, I will take a motion. Do we combine these into one?
Yeah,
Or do we separate them?
You can do it in one motion.
Okay. So I'm looking for a motion for or against the allowance of a, 4.3 foot front setback variance and a 2.8 foot side setback variance.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Kathy. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Passes.
Enjoy.
We love porches in the village.
Oh, I've always wanted one, and I'm finally in a place that I can do it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is review of the meeting minutes from July 17th, which is a while ago. So I guess I will give everybody a minute to review those minutes. As soon as I find them. No, I already read them. chance to read the minutes from July 17th, 2025? Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written, or any changes necessary?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for July as written.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. All right, and I guess the fourth item on our agenda tonight is discussion regarding the notification requirements for applicants, specifically the mailing for neighborhood notification letters. So I think what we're looking at is, do we take that over, or does the applicant still need to?
Karen can tell you what
All right.
she's looking for.
So we're going through the application, and that letter to neighbors is the biggest roadblock for applicants, the one we hear the most concern about. People don't feel comfortable sending the letters. They already pay an application fee, and then we're asking them to mail letters and pay for that postage, which some of them, depending on where they live in the village, could be 10, 15 letters that have to get sent out. But most of it is, it causes a lot of anxiety for the applicants to have to send those letters. They're not sure how exactly to write. We give them a template of what they should write, but it still is causing a lot of anxiety. So we went and looked back at the code, and it's actually not a requirement in the code to send neighborhood letters. We're required to give the public hearing notice in the paper, which we do, and then the applicant is required to post one of our signs in their yard. We updated the signs over the summer so that now they link up to the website where people can view all the documents from the application ahead of time and submit their comments online now as well. So we were looking at how else we could do the neighbor notification. Before, when I was at the town, we changed the same, we had the same issue, and we changed it over there to just mailing a postcard with the meeting information to the more immediate neighbors, you know, the ones that were visually impacted. If it's something like a subdivision, then it would be, you know, we'd expand the circle further. But then it would be more our responsibility. We know what's going out. We know when it gets mailed. And there's less impact to the applicant in terms of putting stress on them. And that way we know for sure that they were actually mailed as well. Because right now, we ask them to sign that they've sent it. We don't know for sure, so.
If it's not in the code, then a sign and posting in the newspaper, I would think should be sufficient.
Yeah.
People need to take responsibility. You know, not the applicant, I'm talking about neighbors. If they see a sign in front of somebody's house or a neighbor's house, and they're questioning, they either go to the neighbor or go to the village, or get a copy of the Webster Herald and read it. I mean, the plan, I know the zoning board always, didn't require it, but they always asked for it. And the planning board, we never did. We, you know, if it came up, we would ask, you know, did you send letters or did you notify your neighbor? But that was never really a big thing. So, I mean, that's my opinion.
The signs now do have the website and our phone number
And
and
they have
also a
a
QR
and they have
code
a
that they can
QR
scan.
code, yeah.
And what's the response been? Have you heard back from neighbors?
We have gotten some comments into the website. I am seeing an increase in traffic to that page as well, so people are clicking on it and
Good.
going to it, which is good to see.
Mhm.
That's sufficient.
So are you also sending a postcard out with the QR code?
That was one, we aren't sending anything right now. That was one of the things that we were looking at as an option instead of requiring the applicants to send letters when it isn't in our code to do so. I'm not sure how long that's been in the application or where it originated, but.
Would we increase our permit fees in order for us to possibly send out postcards to kind of cover the cost of us stamps and postcards and stuff like that?
That's something we can look at the next organizational meeting, because that's when the fee schedule would change.
We have to do some cost analysis to see, how much that would even be. It would not be to the 300-foot requirement
No,
is
right.
now, but, so it would, maybe a handful every time. The zoning board application more covers things like the paperwork, copying, and the stipends for the board as well. So I'm not,
Okay.
we can look at
The
increasing
publication
it.
to the paper? doesn't-
Yeah, the legal
Okay.
notice as well comes out of that budget line.
Yeah, just for you, the town of Penfield, we send postcards out for every application. We don't make the applicants do the mailings, but I don't know if it's a state requirement, as long as it's in the paper, I think is the only requirement. And it's better to have the sign, on the front yard, so people do realize something's going on with that property. So, I mean, it's nice bonus to send it to maybe the few neighbors next to them, but I don't know if we want to incur additional costs to the applicants for, having to do that.
I think it would come into play more, we've seen it, the people that live behind the property that back up to it, that may visually be impacted, but if they don't drive down the opposite street, we've had comments of, well, I didn't see the sign, I don't drive down that street, I drive down the other street, and they just didn't see it. So then, a postcard might,
Maybe a postcard.
reach those people if they back up to the property.
That's a good point.
We've seen
Yeah, I
that.
don't think if you mail a postcard to the property owners that are actually adjacent to, contiguous to, and then the one right directly across the street, was that 4 postcards, how much did that cost?
No, I agree,
Well, yeah,
it's
it
a
costs-
small amount, I just want to make sure.
And I
that-
like it because you say the town of Penfield does it, the town of Webster does it.
It is a nice
You know,
thing
to the
to
extent,
identify.
I always think to the extent that the village and the town can kind of have the same kind of processes, the better,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Pete on it's the responsibility of the adjacent homeowner to,
Be aware.
be aware, but I don't know how many times I've heard, well, I never got a postcard, or I never got this. Well, we also do, limitations on how far we send them out.
Right.
So if you're 501 feet, you're not gonna get the postcard.
Or if you live on the next street.
Right.
That is a,
I do generally think it's a good idea to probably do like the
Circle.
a circle and definitely get the backyard, because I never thought about that.
Yeah, we had some comments about, one of the sheds, back in the spring that, well, they didn't see the sign, but they can see the shed going up.
I think the letter requirement, way back when, and I'm not sure when, this board did its own kind of rules. I don't know where they're written down anywhere, but that's where it came from.
It came from Will. When I built my garage, it came from Will.
Will Burnham?
Will Barnum?
Well, I don't think.
Whether this board told Will what to do, I don't know,
Yeah,
but
it was.
Will,
It wasn't, Will didn't come up with it on his own. It was a board.
yeah. But
And because I forgot the older gentleman that was on the board for years that just passed away a year or so ago. Help me out. There was all,
Pierce, you lived on Pierce and,
and he was always big on the seeker stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's the one that told me that that the board at some point did its own set of rules. But I'm not sure, they might be in minutes somewhere, maybe in the past, but you can obviously change it. And,
Well, if we,
but I think you should, give Karen some direction if you wanted the contiguous adjacent properties and the one across the street, or some kind of a circle radius of some odd feet, or however you want to do it, so she knows, who gets the postcard and who doesn't.
I mean, theoretically, the people who are going to be the most impacted by it. So I would say, at a minimum, 2 lots to the left, 2 lots to the right, and however many lots that are directly opposite. So if you're in the
Or
middle,
behind.
so you got 5 lots or 3 lots or whatever it turns out to be, it's that direct neighborly source.
Front, back, sides.
Yeah.
But we have to change the code, correct?
No,
No,
it's not in the code.
it's not.
It's not in the code, but if we do it, should it be in the code?
Well, it's part of it, you make it part of the application
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the mailing notification of your neighbors, whether that be the
yeah,
village.
there's
sending
nothing
out
in the
postcards.
code for the signs either.
No,
The only thing in the code is New York state law, is the publication in the official newspaper.
Right. Which
That's
people
the
may
only
not
requirement of the
subscribe to
state of New York.
anymore.
Right.
Who reads the paper anymore?
Yeah, right.
You know, there's so many lawn signs that nobody pays attention to those half the time either.
I
You know,
like
they
the, I
all-
like the
they
new
all-
signs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all get put on the village's website. That's
Yeah.
not state law either. That's
Yeah.
just sort of, a combination that most municipalities
Yeah,
these
most,
days do all
yeah,
that.
they do that, right.
Yeah.
You know, in an ideal world, it is the applicant writing a letter and giving it to their neighbors and saying, hey neighbor, I'd like to do this. You know, I'd like to bring you in on it, so at least you're aware. And I'm going to the village to ask for this.
Apparently stressing them out.
Yeah, and plus there wasn't a form, the letters weren't uniform. you know,
Right.
and Some of them were a little confusing
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Yeah, I think actually coming from us would be
yeah, but just the,
Well-
straightforward.
just a little postcard, I think is.
Let's
better.
get a neighbor notification template written as part of the application process. And you tell the applicant, you
So
should.
I think what you
We
should
have
do,
one.
I think what, just so it's a part of the minutes, and if you wanna make it a motion so that there's and Karen will have the minutes, there'll be a written record of what the requirement's gonna be. Whoever wants to come up with it, Chris had, you can't just say neighborly, whoever's in the neighborly, no.
Well, that's why I think you gotta do a radius, like
Yeah.
100-foot radius or,
300-foot radius. Oh, lots are usually small.
right.
You don't want
300 feet,
No.
you need a direction, that's
It's a street,
6 lots that way,
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
lots
that's-
that way, and
that's
12
way-
lots
that's
that
way
that
too
way.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, generally the
So
lot.
so the postcard is off the table and the letter is?
No, I think we're back to we wanna do the postcard.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we currently have the letter, we give them a template.
Postcard
Right.
is
It doesn't
cheaper,
necessarily mean they use it.
easier to send.
Right, I think postcard would be the best,
Right, I agree with that. But, yeah.
adjacent lots. Of course, there's always gonna be somebody who's gonna complain, but you've got a sign, you're gonna put a sign up. And it's on the village website and it's in the
Right.
newspaper.
Right.
Do we wanna take a vote?
So adjacent lots then, that would cover in the rear if there's more than, because sometimes the lot lines don't
Right.
line up.
Yeah.
Whatever
Whatever
properties are
touching
touching.
touches the applicant's.
Yes. I mean, like
So if
Elm
there's
Street
one
was-
lot touching, it's one lot. If there's 2 lots, then you gotta send them to the 2 lots.
And I suppose across the street, they don't
Yes.
touch, but at least they'll see the sign.
Mhm.
Right.
Staring them in the face.
Right, and the person, yeah. So are we all in agreement with that train of thought?
Yes.
For it.
So have the minutes reflect that the postcards go to adjacent lots.
Thank you.
Yep. I guess the last item on the agenda, unless we have anything else we need to discuss. All right, if that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by Kathy to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second by Chris, so I call this meeting adjourned at 7:25. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Oh, did you?